like to call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting, April 13th, 2016, at 4:30 p.m. First off, well, I just called the meeting to order. I want to remind councilors to turn their mics on. I think we have Councilor Knowles remotely here, so if he wants to hear us, we got to have our mics on. So if anybody's has to disclose that they've got a conflict of interest or a general nature thereof, please mention it now. And seeing none, item number 3 is a delegation, and it looks like we have Donna from the Centennial Canoe Task Force. She's going to give us, I guess, an update. And just to remind you, Donna, you have about 10 minutes to speak, okay? Thank you.
Mayor Ferguson, Acting Chair Councillor Martin, councillors, and others. I'm Donna Zachariah, and I'm here to speak on the Centennial Canoe Task Force and kind of give you a little bit of update of what's going to be happening. First of all, Thunder Bay hasn't released the Ontario Centennial Canoe. This committee has been going for about 35 years with very little success. Matter of fact, we've kind of come full circle, because when the canoe was originally given to the Kneebing Brigade, it was through Mayor Boschkoff. And then here we are in our last plea dealing with Mayor Boschkoff, and it was a no-go. We tried to follow up with the Peterborough Canadian Canoe Museum that had 2 canoes that were very similar. Took us a while to work through that and found out that they no longer had them. And I then worked with Marianne Irwin, who was interested in supporting us and had been on the board of the Peterborough Canadian Canoe Museum previously, to find out that they were given to a man who was running a Native youth program. And we thought, okay, we'd speak with him. And then we ended up finding out, this is all over time, that he passed away and left it to his son. And then we ended up finding out where the son was, and the bottom line was there, he is not interested in giving us any of those canoes either. So then I had a discussion with our Ontario team member, Craig Cowan, who is the person who had always offered to redo the decals and everything on the canoe to make sure it was back to its original form. And there are only 2 members left that we know of living from the team. There is a third that we can't seem to find, so nobody's sure about that. But anyways, Greg himself is over 75 now. He's the youngest living member, and he is saying that he doesn't have tons of time left to do that work of bringing the canoe or a canoe back up to look like the Ontario team canoe. But he did suggest that maybe, you know, we could look at a model, like maybe 4-foot model, something like that, depending on how fast we move. So then we were left with some big decisions to move forward. Do we want to look at a mold of an original canoe? Do we want to look at a similar canoe, but it's large but not the same? Do we want to look at no canoe? Do we want to look at a whole different plan regarding a canoe? Or do we want to look at a model? So that's kind of the decisions that we had to make moving forward. It was in June of 2023 that I presented here, and we received a resolution of support, and 3 members of council joined the membership. The meetings were approximately 1 to 2 times a year, and the workload was generally done all by myself, other than a few people that took the secretary role at times. So that leads me to looking at the range of commitment, which is like a pendulum. On one side, I have had Councillor Stimson, who has been with us from way back and has showed up for the majority of meetings on one side, to the other side where I have Councillor Johnson, who has never shown up to one meeting, who has never responded to any of my emails, who as far as I'm concerned, it's just his name on the committee. And then the other ones fall kind of in between. So here are some big decisions. I'm left with the last 3 meetings back. 1 member showed plus myself. 2 meetings back, 2 members showed plus myself. The last meeting, 1 person showed plus myself. I had sent out emails, basically stating that this was a big decision, because we had some decisions to make. And I come in 35 minutes for the meeting one way, which is over an hour of traveling, and I don't even receive the respect of any confirmation on attendance. I'm doing the bulk of the workload, so I just wanted enough there to make a decision on how we can move forward. I feel like the energy and enthusiasm is not there. It's just not there. So basically the next step, what is needed to move forward, is very simple. It's going to be a chair, because I'm resigning of the position of chair. I'm willing to stay on if somebody else takes it. If they're interested, they can contact me on my email to let me know that they're interested in the position. I will stay on, I will help with the work, but I'm not chairing it myself anymore. And I gather, if I don't hear from anybody in a while, that the committee will be dissolved. That's my report. Are there any questions?
Councillor Stimson.
Yes, thank you, Acting Mayor Martin. It's more of a comment. I joined the crew before I was even on council, and my big drive was to get it here before Don Meany passed away. And when that happened, when he passed away, before we even made nobody would even talk to us about it. I did tell Donna, I said, I'll still stay on the committee and work on it, but my drive for it has kind of gone, because I wanted it for Don. That's what I wanted it for. And but I stuck on it anyways, because I thought it would be nice to have shown in town here, either somewhere in town or at the library or wherever, the museum, whatever. Not the library, I guess. The museum, hanging up with some books. But it just seemed like it was a good thing that we had. There was a lot of some townspeople on it, and I'm surprised that we never got more support. I really am, and I'll go along with Donna. If she gets more people for the committee, I'll stick on it too, and we'll see what we can do. But I'm definitely not going to be the chair, so we need somebody. And that's all I got to say. I just thought it was a real good initiative. And thank you for all the work you did and all the traveling you did.
Thank you.
Well, I'll just make a comment. Thank you, Donna, for all your hard work in this. And I know that was near and dear to your heart, and you've been at it a long time. And is there any other questions? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Gord Martin. I guess it's my fault. I didn't know I was on that committee. I totally forgot about it. I don't recollect ever being. I know you got a smug look on your face, but I don't really remember going on it. Obviously, I was, and I'm not big on emails, and I apologize for that. I have a question. Is Thunder Bay, are they presently displaying the canoe?
No.
Where it is?
Councillor Johnson through Chair Martin. As far as I know, it's still in the fort, like Fort William, and the Neighboring Brigade used it for the centennial, what is it? Was it bicentennial or whatever? parade of canoes and that last year.
So is that the only time that you are aware of that it has been shown, since there have been possession of it?
No, they've used it every, about a couple of years, 1 or 2 times a year, not very frequently.
And have they done anything for the restoration of it?
No, not to its original form. For the canoe, the care of the canoe itself, yes, but not like the decals and that. You can't recognize it as the Ontario Team Canoe unless you're a team member and know it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Ferguson?
Thank you, Chair Martin. Donna, and again, I want to echo Gord's thank you for all the hard work you're doing. Just a couple questions. If I'm going to see Mayor Boschkoff in the next couple weeks, so what could I say to him to try to sway him to have a different perspective on this? Like, are we going to display this, or is it going to be put aside somewhere where it's no different than, it gets used once every few years or something? What would be our plan? How would I sell this to the mayor to try to get him to do us a favor?
Mayor Ferguson through Chair Martin. Thank you for that question. That's a really good question. I'm finding that our whole approach originally was that we just wanted it displayed, even if it was in Thunder Bay. We have not been successful in any communication with the Kneebing Brigade whatsoever. They are not responding. When Mayor Morrow was in there, he was trying to get us together, and they weren't necessarily responding to him either. And so it seemed very positive when we started moving forward. It was like, okay, he made a motion and it was supported for the administration to start looking into the legalities of it and everything else. And then it changed to Mayor Boschkoff, and it was kind of shut down fairly quickly for us. So I'm not sure, but one of the biggest questions to me, which I don't understand, is why the Kneebing Brigade feels that they need that canoe, that particular canoe. Because we've offered to replace it. There's also other Voyager canoes that are similar. We've offered to put money on it, all kinds of things, and they've still declined any kind of communication, any response. They've only said to the council that, it's not going to move forward. At least that's what's come to us through Thunder Bay City Council. And so I don't understand why, because any canoe can be used in what they're doing, but only that canoe represents the Ontario team. So I don't know.
So it's a canoe they've got sitting there, and it's like, well, we'll just use this one. It's not. No, there's no special significance for them to use it. It's just that it's there.
Well, that it is a Voyager canoe.
Yeah,
and it is one of the original ones. They did put some money into it originally when it was displayed on the Tourist Bureau and got damaged and was taken down. And so then it was given to the brigade by Mayor Boschkoff, and they put money in to bring it up to par so it could be used.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it gives me something so I can speak with them about it and see, not promising anything, but it's a conversation I can have for sure with the mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Ferguson. Could I ask Donna, could you sort of summarize what the significance of this canoe is for Atikokan, and how did we let it go to, like, give me a little bit of a backstory here, not to take up a lot of time.
Sure.
Why do we want it back, and Why,
Well, when the original people were chosen, the majority of them came from Atikokan.
okay,
So we had, besides Don Meany, there was the two, okay, here goes my memory now.
okay. Couple others from,
Yeah, two father and son that were also on it. Greg Cowan at that time was living here, even though he put himself down from where he came from. And Norm Jewett was also chosen, which is from here.
okay,
But he didn't stay on the team.
so most of the people in the canoe were from Atikokan?
Yes, yeah.
Have they ever suggested they would lend it, you know, if we had some significant thing going on here, would they lend us the canoe for,
He did lend us the canoe once, yeah.
why did we give it back to them?
I have no
Possession's
idea.
9/10 of the law, right?
Yes, I have no idea.
Let's ask them if we can borrow it again.
Yeah. And I've been through some legal meetings, and their lawyers say that our lawyer is, you know, semi-right, but it's going to be a hard fight. So do we want to put money into fight?
Thank you. I guess we have Counselor Knowles. Has he got a question?
Yeah, thank you. I'll be quick. I was hit and miss with the meetings. I did send an email out for the last one just because there was a number of counselors that would be in violation of the municipal act. So I want to make sure that we weren't over attending the meeting. But I have been doing a lot of work in my other role, approaching CDC, city councilors, the Fort exec director, as well as a number of municipal officials in Neving, and was stonewalled every step of the way when it came to inquiring about this. So I have been trying to do some work through my tourism channels, but just for whatever reason, it is a non-starter. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure even how we can proceed. So I like Mayor Ferguson's attempt if we can do a Hail Mary, because like I said, I've spent the bulk of the last year having informal conversations with folks, and just it's not getting anywhere. So happy to see anything else we can try to move this forward. But I would also echo and thank Donna for all her time. I know how hard she works on this and how much this means to her. So I'm really really appreciative of all the efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Knowles. So I guess if nothing happens here, we're assuming it's going to be a dead issue, but as Mayor Ferguson said, we are meeting with elected officials in Thunder Bay in a couple weeks, and maybe we'll try one more time and see what happens. So, anybody else? Oh, Counselor Simpson.
Yes, just one thing. Was it Pruniacs?
Thank you, that's it. Yeah, both Pruniacs. Yeah, Jeff and his dad from here in Atikokan, yes.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
Thank you, Chair Martin.
you're my peripheral vision. I couldn't see you.
Just a quick question, and please excuse my ignorance on the background of this. I do have some familiarity with it, but not all the details as of late. When Mayor Ferguson intends to speak with Mayor Boschkoff, I was wondering if we kind of have a game plan for how we would intend to display it, where it would be, what sort of restoration activities would take place, so that we can kind of demonstrate how it's in the best interests of caring for that item to be displayed in Atikokan.
Through Chair Martin. I mean, that would be great, and that's our ultimate goal for Atikokan. But the ultimate goal for the committee as a whole was to start off with just getting it displayed. Originally, when the Voyageurs had come through, they put up a bunch of rocks in Fort William as a cairn to say, this is where the canoe is going to be displayed. And one of the members came up with their family, and the cairn was there with pop cans and garbage and no canoe, and it was, you know, kind of disappointing for them. So it was our hope just for it to be displayed, but because nothing's being done, maybe as we were willing to do it, they would allow us to display it here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, no more questions, and thank you for your time, Donna, and we'll
Thank you.
try one more time, maybe, see what happens. Thank you. Next up, Committee of the Whole reports, Administration and Employee Relations, and I take it this might be you, Clerk Bates?
Yes, thank you, Chair Martin. The municipality currently has an election recount policy. Our policy is if the margin of votes is within 10 votes, we would do an automatic recount. Currently under legislation, if there is a tie vote, we have to do an automatic recount. So we had put this other layer of a policy in. What I'm asking now is for council to rescind this policy. Now that we've moved over to alternate voting, we don't technically need this policy because the results are generated directly from the voting platform, so it's going to produce the same result. So if council is in agreement, I would like to rescind this policy, and I will bring a bylaw to rescind the policy at the next council meeting at the end of the month.
Thank you for that. Anybody got a comment or question? Councillor Shine, can you spin your canoe around? Luckily, I recognized you, but I don't see your name.
Oh, thank you, Chair Martin. I just wanted to ask Sue, in regards to people who still vote by paper when they come down here, will that affect that in any way?
So they won't be voting by paper, they'll be voting either by telephone or on a computer or a laptop or anything. So it's in-person voting. We will have our electronic stuff set up for people to do it online.
Perfect, thank you.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you, Chair Martin. Sue, you say a difference of 10 automatically gets a recount. Is it 100% bulletproof that the votes entered won't be entered wrong? Is that a possibility?
No, it's not a possibility. It's 100%. It
It
will,
can't be
yeah,
punched in wrong.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions. What do you want us to do?
I will rescind the policy if you guys are in agreement. Okay, I'll bring a bylaw to the next council meeting at the end of the month.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Okay, next up, Public Works, Airport Waste Management, and I guess we're going to talk about Tyler, you're going to talk about the sewer truck.
Yeah.
Or is it a sewer truck? Is that what you're calling it? A vacuum pump?
Well, this new one's going to be a Vector, but I guess everybody, eloquently knows the current one is the sewer truck, so that's what we're looking to replace. The new unit would be a Vector Impact model, so it broadens out the scope a little bit of what we'll be able to do with that piece of equipment. The Vector in particular gives you much better capabilities of doing hydro excavation and also jetting sewer mains. So it would be a much more useful piece of equipment than the current one, which is just a pumper truck, right? So happy to field any questions beyond what's in the report here.
Councillor Shine?
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, so we can pump sewage, right, like our current truck can, but this one, we can actually pump dryer aggregates with it too, which sometimes we have to get the sweeper over to try and do that with the elephant trunk off the back. This one also gives us the option to do hydro excavation, so you get essentially a pressure washer and you blast the ground away and then it sucks it up at the same time. It's the kind of lowest impact method of utility excavation. And then it also gives us the opportunity to jet main lines, which is, for lack of a better term, you're putting the pressure washer right down into the sewer line and blasting out whatever the clog is, instead of trying to get the rotting machine down there and, you get it stuck halfway. We've had to buy 2 rotting coils in the last 3 years to the tune of like 20 or 30 grand, so. Yeah, and then it'll also really help us, like when we're getting close to a water main, when we have a break, we'll be able to get the Hydro X out and then get right down to the very bottom and make sure we don't get a incidental strike or something like that too, so. Yeah.
Counselor Johnson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Martin. Tyler, with those two options, would that, we wouldn't have to rent, we'll be saving money because we don't have to rent equipment that does that particular jobs?
Yeah, so the second option, the cheaper one, didn't actually have the jetter on the front. We were just trying to get some extra quotes, but obviously it's pretty specialized equipment, so it was tough trying to get more quotes than that. So yeah, you know, we've had to bring Cambrian in a few times for emergency work, and it's you know, $5,000 to $10,000 every time they come to town. Having that capability to jet it ourselves would alleviate that. Not only that, but also the delay of actually getting them to town.
Exactly.
You'll still see them in town if we're doing like a CCTV exercise, like, you know, the community-wide ones that we do, because they're self-sustaining. We wouldn't get involved with that. But it would be a very similar piece of equipment that they would be using to what we have.
Thank you.
Counselor Stimson?
I just wondered, what's the HST on $557,198 roughly?
Well, 13%.
We don't pay the full 13% though. We pay a very small portion of the HST.
Oh, okay.
Most of it gets
All right.
most of it gets rebated back.
Good enough.
Counselor Shine?
Thank you, Chair Martin. This money has all been allocated in your budget. It's not going to go anything over your budget that we've approved.
Sure. So like I said, in the report, financial impacts, we had 500,000 originally budgeted for this. We did have about 75,000, I think, roughly, in that budget line that was unaccounted for to try and.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I
Even
thought,
this
but I
out,
wanted to
so.
double check what I was reading.
Yeah, there's also some lines that we're expecting to be under, like under the airport lights, like I referenced in here. Both between, we've been able to find a new supplier for replacement bulbs, and also we think we're going to be able to decrease the number of PAPIs we have versus the VASIs. We're just waiting on a survey, which I think is taking place next week to confirm that. Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions, Tyler, if you don't mind. Do you have, to operate this truck, is there a special license that an operator will have to have, or is it sufficient with, like, is this thing a pressurized vessel or whatever you want to?
Nope. So with we put the larger debris body on it. We kind of customized the specs on it to make sure it's going to be what we want. So with that larger debris body, it will be a DZ license required to operate it, but there's no extra course that you need on top of having your DZ.
Okay.
With that being said, though, the salespeople, the company will be coming down and giving us kind of a full rundown on the truck and its operations. So.
Okay, cool. What, I didn't notice, was there a year and mileage and all that on that, or what?
These are new.
Oh, brand new? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I thought they were like 800,000 or $1 million.
Well, we're only doing the single rear axle, right? Compact, right? I think if you get into those tandem units, yeah, you start hitting that 3/4 mil mark pretty quick.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we'll be, Counselor Johnson, we're gonna, you've already determined we're gonna save some money by not bringing Cambrian in. And, there's all kinds of benefits for that. Yeah, okay, I guess, that was, what are you gonna do with the old truck?
That one is a bit of an unknown at the moment. If there's one vehicle that I want to have a backup of, it's a sewer truck, to be completely honest. So we have put a lot of money into that thing right now. It's just getting a bit unreliable, a bit clunky, right? So again, at council's discretion.
Yep, yeah, no, I get it, yeah. You only got one toilet and it don't work, and you're in trouble. Counselor Stimson?
Tyler, do you have a designated posted driver for that truck now? Or is it gonna be just, you go on it today, you go on it tomorrow, or do you have somebody who's posted on the sewer truck now?
Nobody put in for that posting.
So it's gonna be just, you drive it today, you drive it tomorrow, or?
It'll more than likely typically be the same person driving it still.
Okay, good, yeah, because for a price like that, that's what I kind of like to see, somebody who take care of it.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions here. I guess one of my one of my questions might be, is I know we've had a little bit of pushback on pumping porta potties and pumping septic tanks, sort of outside the limits. Are we gonna change our policy on what we're gonna do, or is, with being that we got a new truck and all?
I can confidently say that if I didn't want to beat up my old truck on all those camp roads, I don't want to beat up my new truck on all those old camp roads.
Okay. Okay. I'm not seeing anything else. Nobody? So what are we gonna do here next? You've offered a couple options?
We did find 2 quotes. Like I said, the second option, the shell vac unit, as it outlines in my report, does not have the jetting function, so that wouldn't alleviate us from needing to call Cambrian in an emergency. That's why we are recommending the Joe Johnson Equipment Vector unit.
Where is Joe Johnson? What is that? Who is that?
I believe we're dealing with the Winnipeg base. They're a very big
That's what-
equipment outfitter. Yeah, that's where a lot of people get sidewalk machines and sweepers and Vector units from. They're a big hitter in the industry.
Perfect. Okay, so personally, I mean, I'd like to see you get the more expensive unit, but how do we want to proceed?
Just makes sense, $30,000 more.
Do we want to do a show of hands on or how should we do this? Do we need to?
Well, if you are in agreement, we do have a resolution to accept the Joe Johnson equipment bid at the council meeting today.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it?
Yeah, and he said that he should be able to hold that price, even though it's been a couple weeks since we talked to him, and so we should be good with that price. If anything changes, we'll let you know through the update.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Next up, looks like community services. Who's going to speak to that? CAO Young? Ministry of Transport, gas tax?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Our treasurer Colson sends her regrets. She's dealing with the auditors right now. So her report basically just lets you know that we are once again been approved for the provincial gas tax in the amount of $24,184. This monies are put into reserves and then used for our transportation program and for the eventual replacement of our capital infrastructure.
Thank you.
It's annual funding. Every year we've been fortunate enough to receive the funding. So once again, we've received that funding.
Great. There's your extra money for your more expensive truck there, Tyler.
No. No.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Excellent. So then we got some other business here. CIP signage program, and Mayor Ferguson, you're going to speak to that?
Yes, thank you, Chair Martin. My regrets for not resubmitting the information to everybody until this afternoon, but I just want to revisit the idea of the community investment program that would help support businesses, enhance the appearance of their establishments with partial funding for improvements such as new signage, painting, landscaping, stone and brick facade. So I've given everybody a list of criteria. We talked about this a couple months ago and it really didn't go anywhere. I just want to see if council is interested in doing an amended to the budget and for $25,000, up to $25,000 to help businesses in town improve the appearance of their buildings. The economic development will administer this fund, so it is less work for administration. I wouldn't say no work for administration, but it's less work for administration. There's it's up to 50%, up to $5,000 per business with a cap of $25,000. It would be a first come, first served application process. I just want to know if council has any appetite for doing this. They have any questions? I think I spelled out all the criteria, but if you have any questions, and if council's not interested in doing this, you won't hear me ask again. If council is interested in pursuing this, I can talk with the treasurer again. I had a conversation with her. She said it's doable, but I don't know. Is there any questions? Do we want to proceed with something like this or not? Does anybody have any comments?
Councillor Lyons?
Thank you, Chair McMartin. I'm just assuming that the ADC is on board with this proposal and the responsibilities that they'd be delegated?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Johnson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Martin. Is it, if all businesses could put in for it, or is it gonna be a first come, first served that you stated?
Yeah, it will be first come, first served, because it caps at $25,000 and it's a maximum of $5,000 per business. So as it spells out, if someone puts in, does a $5,000 sign, they would get $2,500. If someone did a $10,000 sign, they would get $5,000. If someone did a $15,000 sign, they would still only get, it caps out per business at $5,000. And yes, it would be a first come, first served. We would advertise it, everybody would have the same shot, and it would be the first people to put their hand up for this.
My problem being, Mayor, like a sign is not going to enhance the beauty of a building. I would like to see it kept to making the building itself more presentable or more eye-pleasing. I can't see a sign doing that. Just my own thought.
Yeah, well, I'm taking to walking again, and I walk around town, the businesses, and I see some of the signage. I think a new sign would definitely enhance a building. But you're right, I would like to see a bigger, someone take a bigger step, for sure. But I don't think the town's gonna have an appetite of spending tens of thousands of dollars for a business. But my idea is if this is what it takes to give somebody a little bit of incentive, then we can do a small part of it. They may go ahead and do $25,000 worth of work. We would put up $5,000 and help them out, but we wouldn't fund 50% of it.
Okay, I think Gordon Knowles had his hand up, Councillor Stimson, so, sorry, Councillor Knowles, your question or
Thank you,
comment?
Councillor Martin. I'm happy to support it and happy to volunteer as needed to help draft up, work with any of the parties on putting a program together in terms of reference. To Councillor Johnson's point, perhaps doing a scoring matrix, so grading different components of it would help alleviate that and give more importance to certain projects that might be of more value. And I'm happy to help shepherd that through. I do a lot of the partnership work in my other role, where we do matching funds with private businesses. So happy to work on that and put that forward, and anything I can help do to move it forward, as well as helping connect these folks to the ADC and some of the microloan programs they have will probably help them leverage even more money. So I think it's a great idea and a great program, and I'm happy to support it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Knowles. Councillor Stimson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Ferguson, or Mayor, Mayor Martin. I don't know if I like the first come, first served, and maybe only 5 get to do it. You'll get people that'll be, oh yeah, I'll jump on that right now, and meanwhile, somebody's thinking about it, and next thing you know, they can't do it. And I think if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it for any business that wants to do it. We can't just pick and choose, five businesses or whatever it is that, we're gonna go along and help out, and the rest of them gotta do it on their own. We've got a business in town here already who spent a lot of money already, redoing an old building, and they're doing it all on their own dime. Sometimes I think, when you put your own money, a lot of your own money into it, of course they're going to be, but I don't know, I just think that if it's only for maybe five businesses, we've got more businesses than that might want to take advantage of it, but they're just going to be too late, so that's the way I feel of it.
Thank you. Before we take any more questions, I'm sort of getting the feel that this will be like a pilot project, and one of the 12 ways to kill your community is don't paint, and I think that we'd be painting downtown. I don't think you're going to get enough business to spend that money, to be honest with you. I mean, so that's my own comment. I like the idea. I think we need to do something to help paint downtown, and this is a good step. Councillor Lyons.
Thank you, Chair Martin. I'm fully supportive. I like this idea. I am supportive of it in principle, but to Councillor Knoll's remarks, there are just a few things I had questions or needed some clarification to get it wrapped around my own mind. First of all, we're looking at a really short turnaround. If we're looking for a decision by the end of April and applications close the end of May, that gives 4 weeks for any sort of communication of the proposal. I'm not saying that it's wrong, it just means that we need to get on top of things. Also, further to Councillor Johnson's remarks about first come, first serve, it also states in here that the AADC will select successful applicants. So I'm wondering if it is a first come, first serve, or if there will be some criteria similar to what Councillor Knowles talked about. And also a question about the location within town. It says within the town, but are we focusing on like the downtown business core? Are we looking at somebody who may have a home-based business being able to improve their frontage? Or is this going to be limited in scope to certain areas of town? Just some questions to think about anyhow, but I am supportive of the idea of it.
Yeah, originally my thought, and I apologize, I didn't do it properly, or put enough information on there. But yeah, I would prefer if it was the downtown corridor, Mackenzie, Main Street, O'Brien. I wouldn't want to see somebody that has a home business reside the front of their house and call it their home business. You know what I mean? I think it would serve the downtown core more than somebody renovating their personal home.
Certainly.
But that criteria would have to be spelled out, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for those questions and answers there. Councillor Shine.
Thank you, Chair Martin. This does sound like an excellent project. I would just like to see some guidelines prior to making the final decision, and exactly where, because we have been complaining since we've been on council too about some of the businesses that run along Mackenzie, right, as you're coming into town and wanting to get some of those beautified. So it would kind of like to have a better idea of where it would strictly apply and see some guidelines that we could go by.
Thank you. Councillor Stimson?
Yes. I think maybe it should be just town-wide businesses, because we've got a guy who has the market up at Lone Pine who's just spent a ton of money in this town, and he's not going to be available to get involved in that new signage thing because he's not on Main Street.
He does have a business on Main Street.
Yeah, I know, but maybe he wants to do something with his business up in Lone Pine and he's not eligible. I think it should be, there's only one up there, so let's include Lone Pine in it too.
I think O'Brien Street could be included in that, because there is a number of businesses on O'Brien Street.
Why doesn't EDO wait to see who applies and then, you know, there'll be some discussions about that, I would imagine. Like I said, you're thinking this is gonna be a pilot project, so if you keep coming through with these, it'll never happen this year, so let's make it happen. And then if it needs to be tweaked for next year, if we see we got a problem somewhere, because it kind of sounds like you might be opening Pandora's box here on this thing, so. But keep it simple, and Gordon Knowles, or Councillor Knowles, sorry.
That's okay. I've been called far worse. Thank you, Councilor Martin. I'm happy to work with stakeholders to take Mayor Ferguson's outline and come up with a short, simple, to the point terms of reference. Given that it is a pilot project, that we're realistically looking at between 5 and 10 applicants at most, given the pool of money available, and then going from there, and then evaluating it from there, and making modifications as necessary based on needs and demand. But in the interest of time, putting together something very simplistic and doable by all the parties on a short time frame to make those time commitments, as Councillor Lyons has suggested. And I'm happy to work on that and work with whoever may be interested in that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we probably had enough questions, and what do you
I
see?
would just ask for a resolution for next meeting for up to $25,000 available for this project.
And this money to be paid out, people have to submit invoices. There's
there'll
not gonna
be-
be hand-painted signs.
Yeah, there will be invoices, yeah.
Okay, perfect, right on, okay. You got that, Clerk Bates? Thank you, okay, cool. Okay, that looks like that's the end of this meeting, and we'll take a 5-minute break. Oh, okay, Councillor Johnson, sorry about that.
Yeah, don't be, thank you. To Mayor Ferguson's point, if we wait till the next meeting, Mayor Ferguson, we're cutting off 2 weeks, and there's shut-off time for the.
Yeah, well, it could be altered, you know, if it wasn't the cutoff. I just put, because I put a date there because as Jason and I discussed, things take as long as you have. So if you have lots of time, you have lots of time to get it done. If I put a tighter deadline, then we move it forward. So I'd like to pass a resolution in the next 2 weeks, and then I've spoken to Economic Development. They're ready to move on this. They were waiting for council's approval on it, actually, so they can get moving on it. And if it isn't April 30th, if it's May 15th,
Okay.
the deadline,
Okay.
and it's, you know, those things, as Councillor Knowles said, you know, we have terms of reference, and, you know, that number isn't carved in stone, but I just like to see it get moving sooner than later, that's all.
Thank you. And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting, and we'll come back in 5 minutes for a regular council.
Thank you, everybody, for your input.